Is now a good time to sell? And what does your home actually need before you list in 2026? So let me paint you a picture. Two houses, same street, same square footage, same number of bedrooms. One sells in 12 days for $47,000 over asking, the other 6 for 68 days. Gets 2 price cuts, and the seller walks away feeling like they lost. Same market, same neighborhood, completely different outcome. So what was the difference? It wasn't luck, it wasn't the market, it was preparation. So today I'm gonna show you exactly what that looks like. So when you sell, you are the first house in this story, not the second one. Before we get into it, if you are already thinking about selling in San Diego or Chula Vista this year, I want to show you that every source and resource I reference in this video will be linked in the description below. So if you want to dive in deeper into any of the information I covered today, it is all there for you. And if you would rather just talk it through with someone who knows this market, call or text me directly at 858-832-9025 or use the link below to do a free 20-minute strategy call. And we'll look at your specific situation together, no pressure, no pitch, just a real conversation about your home and your options. Okay, let's get into it. So I'm Corey Reels, and I've been helping families with their real estate goals for over 11 years. 4 years ago, my family and I relocated to Chula Vista, and we fell in love with this community. The neighborhoods, the people, the local businesses, and it's why we're so passionate about helping families here find their place in San Diego. So when I sit down with sellers here, I don't just think about the transaction. I think about what comes next for them. Because selling your home is not just a financial decision. It is one of the biggest life decisions you will ever make, and it deserves to be treated that way. So quick note before we dive in, everything I'm sharing today is for educational purposes only. Markets shift, and every situation is different. So please consult a licensed professional like myself before making any decisions. Now, I would love to be that person for you again, but either way, get the right guidance first. All right, let's go. So is now actually a good time to sell? This is the question I hear more than anything else right now. And I'm gonna give you the honest answer. Not one designed to make you feel good, the real one, because you deserve that. So the market in 2026 is not the frenzy in 2021. Back then, sellers were getting 20 offers in a weekend. Buyers were waiving inspection contingencies, and people were paying $100,000 over asking just to win. That energy is gone, and most of you already know that. You've been to open houses, you've seen the quieter rooms, you've felt the shift. Buyer hesitation is real right now. Economic uncertainty, inflation, rates are still sitting in the 6 to 7% range, and a general anxiety about what's happening in the world. All of it is making buyers more cautious and more selective. So I'm not going to pretend that otherwise. Here's what is also true. Inventory is still below what would be considered a balanced market. We're sitting at roughly 2 to 3 months worth of supply in the South Bay neighborhoods. A balanced market is 4 to 6 months. And all the data behind what I'm sharing today, I have linked in the source below. So if you want anything to dive deeper, go ahead and dive into it. Now, what that means in plain English is there are not a lot of great homes available right now. And when a well-prepared home hits the market, priced correctly, in good condition, it still gets attention, it still gets offers, because serious buyers are still out there, and they are being much more selective about which homes they will commit to. And that selectivity is exactly why what we're gonna do here before we list matters more than ever. So a median home price in San Diego County is between $950,000 and a little over $1 million. So if you bought 3 to 5 years ago, you're sitting on some equity. Real money that can fund your next chapter. But to unlock that full equity, that full value, you have to give a buyer a reason to come to your home, and that starts before you even list it. So the psychology of a buyer walking through your home. Here's something that most sellers never think about, and it costs them. Buyers make their decision in the first 30 seconds. Before they have opened the closet, before they've seen the backyard, they have already felt something. And that feeling drives everything that comes after. So think about the last time you walked into a restaurant. Before you looked at the menu, you already knew if you liked it. It was the lighting, the smell, the energy of the room. Buying a home works exactly the same way. So if a buyer walks in and feels the warmth and care, they start imagining their life there. That is what gets offers written. But if something feels off, they shift them into the problem finding mode. They start building a case for why they should pay less, or they just leave. So your job as a seller is to control the first feeling. You do that with 3 things: presentation, cleanliness, and emotional neutrality. That last one means this: Right now, your home is full of you. Your photos, your collections, your life on every wall, and that is beautiful. But for the buyer, it makes it harder to see themselves there. So think about checking into a hotel room. Nothing of anything else is in it. And in that moment, you can walk in and immediately picture yourself relaxing there. That is the feeling you want buyers to have. Not empty, just open, full of possibility. So that is what sells homes in a selective market. Now, what your home actually needs before you list. So let me walk you through exactly what I look at during the pre-listing walkthrough. Picture your own home as you go through this. And be honest with yourself. Because the sellers who do this, honestly, are the ones who come out ahead. So curb appeal. The first showing happens online. A buyer in Los Angeles is scrolling through homes in Chula Vista, San Diego on their phone at night. You have 2 seconds to stop them. Your exterior has to do that job. And when they come in person, the driveway, the handshake, the fresh mulch, the trim hedges, a clean, welcoming front door, these things cost very little, but they tell the buyer someone loved this home. That message is worth thousands. Declutter and depersonalize. Go room by room, pack away that personal photos, clear the countertops, remove any furniture that makes this space feel crowded. You are not erasing your life from this home. You are creating space for someone else to picture theirs. Deep clean, not a regular clean, a deep clean. Baseboards, ceiling fans, inside cabinets, bathroom grout, windows inside and out. A clean home smells different, and smell is one of the most powerful triggers in human decision making. So buyers may not be able to tell you why they loved your home, but they will remember exactly how it made them feel when they walked through. A professional deep clean runs about $300 to $600. That return is many times that. Fresh paint, fresh neutral paint is one of the highest return on investments that you can make before listing. It makes rooms feel bigger, cleaner, and move-in ready. And move-in ready is exactly what cautious buyers in 2026 will pay for premium for. They are already stretching their budget. The last thing they want to do is a list of projects from day one. Professional interior paint runs between $300,000 to $700,000. Agents consistently see 2 to 5 times that return in the final sale price. Minor repairs. Ask yourself, what have I been meaning to fix 6 months and never got to? The leaky faucet, the sticky door, the loose cabinet hinge. Fix them. Because in a market where buyers are already looking for reason to negotiate, every small deferred repair becomes leverage against you. Get ahead of it. Protect your equity. Lighting. Open every blind and curtain before every showing. Replace burnt out bulbs. Add a lamp to any dark corner. A bright home sells, feels bigger, cleaner, and more alive. And it shows up in beautiful listing photos. So what not to do before you list? A few mistakes that cost sellers real money. Do not over-improve. A full kitchen remodel before a listing might cost you $40,000, and you might recover $25,000 of it in a sale. That's a loss. According to Remodeling Magazine's Cost versus Value report, link in the description, most major renovations return only 50 to 75% of their cost at resale. Cosmetic improvements always outperform big renovations. So talk to your agent before spending any significant money. Do not skip professional photography. You have 2 seconds to stop a buyer's thumb as they scroll. Professional photos do that. Phone photos do not. Now, photography, I cover that cost if you hire me, but typically runs between $200 to $600 depending on who you hire. And it's one of the smartest investments in the entire process. Do not price based on what you need. The market does not care what you need to walk away with. It cares about what comparable homes are actually selling for. In a selective market, an overpriced home does not just sit, it develops a reputation. Buyers start wondering what's wrong with it. Data from National Association of Realtors, again, a link in the description, shows that correctly priced homes sell faster and for far more money than overpriced homes that eventually reduce. Price it from day one right. The right price creates competition. Competition creates urgency. Urgency gets you the best offer. And please do not rely on Zillow's estimate alone. Zillow's own data shows estimates can be off 2 to 7% on listed homes and more on unlisted homes. On an $800,000 home, that is up to $56,000 off. Get a proper market analysis from a local agent who knows your area and your neighborhood. Cost and disclosures you need to know. What does selling actually cost in San Diego? Total seller closing costs typically run between 6 to 9% of the sales price. That covers agents, compensation, transfer taxes, escrow fees, and title insurance. San Diego County also charges a documentary transfer tax of $1.10 per $1,000. On an $800,000 home, that is $880 in transfer tax alone. One important change every seller needs to know. In 2024, a NAR settlement changed how buyer agent compensation works, so sellers are no longer required to offer buyer agent compensation through the MLS. Have a direct conversation with your agent about how this affects your net proceeds on disclosures. California requires transfer disclosure statement and a natural hazard disclosure. If your home is in an HOA, which most of Eastlake and Otay Ranch are, you are required to provide HOA documents to the buyer. Request those early. HOA delays are one of the most common reasons escrows get pushed back. And if you have lived in your home for at least 2 of the last 5 years, you may be able to exclude up to $250,000 in capital gains from federal taxes and $500,000 if you are married and filing jointly. California does not offer separate state exclusions, so any gains above that are taxed as income tax. Now, always consult with a licensed CPA about your specific situation. Let me bring this to you together. 3 things to walk away with today. 1, the market is more selective than it was. Buyers are careful, but serious buyers are still there. And a well-prepared home priced correctly still sells and sells well. 2, what your home needs before you list is less expensive than you think, but more intentional than you might expect. Curb appeal, declutter and depersonalize, deep clean, fresh neutral paint, minor repairs, great lighting, not renovations, smart targeted moves that protect your equity and attract serious buyers. 3, know your numbers. Before you list, know your costs, know your equity, know your plan. The sellers who go into this process prepared are the ones who walk away feeling good about what they've built. If you want me to talk you through your home, tell you honestly what it needs, and show you exactly what it's worth in today's market, call or text me at 858-832-9025 or use the link below to book your free 20-minute call. We will look at it together. Honest, straightforward, neighbor to neighbor, no pressure, just clarity. I'm Corey Reels, and I'll see you on the next one.